I've had a bit of a change of short-term plan. I was going to just crash on and take the engine out at this point and change the head and do the big ends and everything else. But some friends who I race with in the 116 Trophy Series are going to Snetterton at the beginning of December, which is it's about 2 or 3 weeks from today. I think it's 3 weeks from today I'm actually going there. So I've decided to go along with them and do a track day, which I'm really looking forward to. It does give me the opportunity to make sure that I don't have this. I've got a bit of a concern about the repair I did on the clutch line, so I need to make sure that I don't have a problem there. But what it does mean is I've got to put everything back together. Now, before I put this lower panel in on this side, I have this outstanding issue, if you remember, about did I rotate the steering column through 360 degrees when I put it back in? Or is it actually in the right orientation as it is? So you can see that I've got the steering wheel pretty much facing forward. The front wheels are pointing straight ahead, so this should read somewhere around 0 degrees in terms of steering angle. Now I tried to use my TopDon SmartDiag OBD scanner. In fact, you can just see the scanner in there where I've bodged it in there temporarily. I tried using that and using the real-time readings, but it just gave a single figure of minus 0.5 degrees, and when I moved the steering wheel around it didn't change, which was a bit disappointing. I don't know if that's because for that particular metric it's got a bug, or if it requires the car to be actually running. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, what I thought I'd do is I would program a display of steering angle into my AIM data logger that I use for racing. So that's hanging down here on this cable. Not very good. And you can see there, hopefully you can see that on the bottom right hand corner, it says 4.9 degrees. Now if I turn that backwards and forwards, you can see that it's changing slightly. It's not perfectly zeroed. So that's zeroed there, and the steering wheel is at a slight angle, as are the front wheels. So I will zero it, but the fact of the matter is it's not like 360 degrees out. You know, it's not a massive amount of steering degrees out. So I'm confident that I've got the steering column on the right orientation. So what I do need to do is, if I get it, I have noticed this actually in my when I'm using Race Studio 3 and looking through my metrics, I've noticed that going down the straights, it's showing a slight steering angle. So I do need to zero the steering angle, which I can do through the OBD scanner. It's worth discussing why you might want to zero this steering angle. So in a road car, when you've got the full dynamic stability control enabled, I think this is a parameter that affects the effectiveness of the steering control, and also I know if it's a long way out, you will get errors on the dash saying you've got DSC problems. So that's one reason you might want to reset it. When we race, we switch the stability control and the traction control completely off by holding down that DTC button on the dash. We hold it down for a long period of time and eventually it switches it all off. That's if you're racing in the dry. If you're racing in the wet, often we have it set to DTC, so the second setting, which I believe allows for a certain amount of wheel slip, but will cut the power if the wheel slip gets excessive. Let's have a go at zeroing the steering angle. So I need to turn the car on. Although the display isn't very good, I hope you can see that this says 2.8 degrees, and I've got the steering, the center piece horizontal. Now what we do is we have to go into this TopDon thing, go into maintenance functions, and it's reset the steering angle sensor. Okay, so it's just connected to the dongle. That's something completely different. BMW. Switch on ignition, which I've done. Manual select. Perform steering angle sensor adjustment. So I think this is the one. So you can see it's doing it. Steering angle. Yep. Okay, so it's just giving me a message that's telling me why I would need to reset the steering angle. Do you wish to cancel the test module? No, I don't. Steering angle sensor matching, it's actually set them facing frontwards. The steering must be positioned horizontally, which it is. And there you go. If you look on the aim now, it says 0. Hopefully you can see that. So that's it. It's now set the steering angle to 0. I'll probably do it again. If I get the thing, if I'm stringing it, I'll do it again. But that'll make it closer than it was before we did the reset.